Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome back to the show. This is episode 564 of the Two Dumb Yinzers. Welcome back. Mike, is your mic off?
My mic is working. I was just mouthing wow when you said the episode number.
Yeah, right. 564, if you can believe it. Here we are, guys. This is the Friday installment of the Two Dumb Yinzers. Welcome. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
We got a lot of things to go over today, Mike. We're going into the weekend. So, we got to cover a couple days in advance
Yes,
here. But you
yes.
know what? We got this, man.
We got it, man. We're professionals.
We're
We can
somewhat
handle it.
professional here. All right, man. Let me just get on. Let me get on the same page here.
Okay, let's
Got it.
get on the same page. Let's focus up. Let's do
Got all
this.
kind
We
of
got
things
this.
going on here. Look at this. Look at this. Just look at this.
Yeah.
All right. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Your dreams were your ticket out. Welcome back. No.
No, I got nothing on that one. That reference is lost on me.
Welcome back, Carter. It was before your day. It was before my day.
See, I know, I
But
know. Welcome back, Carter. I just don't know the theme song.
all right. A couple things before we do get started today. We got Mike. It is the yesterday was the longest day of the year.
Oh, and it felt like it.
It was the first day of summer. Not only did it feel like the longest day of the year, it felt like the hottest day of the year as well. But you know what? The Pittsburgh Pirates having the day off. Uh, I found something out yesterday about this team that actually helped during the hottest day of the day of the year. If you did follow through with what I'm going to say, they released Bucko Batter. Bucko Batter. It's a new ice cream.
Oh, okay.
It's a yellow ice cream, and it's got these dark brown, black chunks, or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Bucko Batter. So if you're hot and you want to cool down with a little ice cream, you could always go get yourself some Bucko Batter.
Bucko better. I thought that was going to veer off in a completely different direction.
Not
I'm
baby
glad.
batter, you knucklehead.
Hey. Whatever this team needs to do to make money so we can actually afford free agents, I'm all for. If the boys got to donate down at the that type of bank, do what needs to be done, boys.
The other big thing I think that's been happening over the past couple of days that I certainly want to talk about is the Hawk Tua. I seen you taking that drink, Mike, so I tried to time it out perfectly. But the Hawk Tua girl has
Well,
became
hawk two on that thing.
Hawk Tua. Gonna spit on that thing. Good afternoon, Ron. Great to see you, my friend.
What up, Ron?
We were recently talking. If you haven't seen this, I encourage everybody to go check it out. It's everywhere. I'm right here
It's
on YouTube.
everywhere.
You can pull it up. Any social media sites. But this girl, the Hawk Tua girl, somebody asked her a question. What does men, what really drives
Yeah.
men crazy in bed? And this
Uh-huh.
girl's probably, I don't know, 22, 23 years old. And she very openly, she says, you got to grab it and two right on the end of that thing and spit on that thing. And she had
Spit
this
on.
southern accent. And
That whole interview is wild.
she's gone viral. I mean, this is
Yes.
this is the airplane woman of right now.
Yes.
The last viral hot chick was the airplane woman. That motherfucker ain't real. You remember her?
Yes.
And before that, some years back, it was the Cash Me Outside. How about that, girl?
Cash me
But every
outside. How
once in
about
a
that?
while, you get these viral chicks. Well, the viral chick today, which is my favorite, I mean, by far,
Yeah.
physically at least, is the Haktua. Haktua girl. Mike, once again, she likes
I
to
love it.
grab it, Haktua, and spit on
Oh,
that thing.
that interview was great. The guy asked her too, like, how do you get over, a breakup? Get over one by getting under another.
So I
she
encourage you,
she
if you
that
if
whole
you
interview was
haven't,
great.
if
The
you
Hawk 2
haven't
was great.
if you haven't seen this, go on. And as I said, right here on YouTube, just type in HAWKTUA, like the quarterback in
Oh,
Miami, Hawk Tua, and you
breaking
will. Yeah.
breaking news. AJ Hawk is coming out of retirement, is going to play wide receiver for the Miami Dolphins to establish the Hawk 2 connection.
I heard that they got a new quarterback. It's Tagliavo's sister, Hawk Tua.
Like I like all the memes coming out of this interview was or this top tier. I love it. This makes me glad that this type of
That's not
culture
your
wasn't
daughter.
around when. No, no, it wouldn't bother me. I'm just glad we didn't like there wasn't this type of social media when we were younger for all the stupid shit that we said.
You said that don't bother you. I would never want to imagine my
Don't
daughter.
bother.
I don't have any daughters, but if I
Like
had a
I don't.
daughter, I wouldn't want to imagine my daughter blowing a dude. I just
I
wouldn't.
like I want to imagine my son, going down on a girl. So I want to imagine either. But hey, as long as
What if
they're
your son was going down on a dude? Would you want to imagine that?
no, but more power to him, I guess. Like I don't want to imagine that. Like, that's my kid. Like, no, I don't
But
want to
one
think
more
that.
time, if you've seen it, you know what we're talking about. If you haven't, just right here on YouTube,
Yeah,
type in those two
a
short
hot
little words,
Tua.
spend the 19 seconds and watch the viral video. You won't be disappointed, and mostly
Oh,
because she's a hot chick. That's why
yeah.
I mean, as I said, the chick in the airplane, she was pretty hot, but this chick is hotter, and that southern twang. There's just something
That it's
about
that
that.
southern twang,
Get
and
on that
like,
thing.
yeah, and she just looks like that type of chick too. That would just be fun to hang out with
You
because you
think?
never know what the fuck she's gonna say.
Yeah. If she thinks the her idea of a good time is hook two,
Well, that's my idea of a good
that's my
time.
idea of a good
You're
time.
right. Like my reaction was like, Miss, if you're looking for like an extremely overweight, extremely unhealthy, bald 43-year-old man, I am right here. I am right
Yeah.
here. If that's your thing, I'm right here. Yes, Ron. It's been yeah. It's we're. I'm gonna blame the
Oh,
heat.
it's very hot, and I know Ron is down in the Panhandle of Florida. I know it's no joke down there, but if you live in Pittsburgh 365 days a year,
Yeah,
it's a serious thing. It's like
yeah.
when those people down south start driving when it snows. It's just
No,
like
yeah.
a quarter of an
Uh
inch of
huh.
snow on the ground. There's
Yeah.
30 cars wrecking
Uh
on the
huh.
highway. That's what
Yeah.
this is.
Uh huh.
This is
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. This is their turn to laugh at us while we laugh at them in the winter.
Absolutely. And I
But
got to tell you, I'm not adjusting to it very well.
uh, I, I think, uh, I think I have. I think I've adjusted. I've survived work so far this week. I got one more day of this 90-degree heat in that whew, humid factory. It feels like I think I got it. I think I can make it hack it through one more day. Now after that, I might be a different person. I might
I'm lucky. I
die
got
when it goes down to 85 this week.
at the radio station, it's air conditioning, so I really have no
Oh,
complaints there. But the moment I leave work and
oh,
come home, it's the whole time all you do is think about it. All you do is think about
yeah,
it because it's so hot.
yeah. Now
I
my
can't think
my
about anything else.
where I work, it's all brick, and then yeah,
And
with
you're like in a warehouse, though.
yeah
It's
warehouse. There, yeah, the 30 trucks in there parked at night. That heat radiating from the engines just are trapped in the building after they, yeah, they turn off, they cool down, but all that heat's going in there. It's insane. It's disgusting.
that's about what it is here too, Ron.
Uh,
It's about 93. It was supposed to go up to 100 this week. Never made it.
Never made it.
Thank God.
I'll take it.
Pirates were off yesterday. Back at it today. I had to kind of finagle the information around Mike because they didn't play yesterday, but I had a show planned. But now they did
Yeah,
play today, so I'm gonna kind of jump around a little
yeah,
bit.
yeah,
We
yeah. We
start on
got
the
this. Yeah,
Pirates. What else? The Heat, Bucko batter, Hawk Tua.
Hawk to you. Ron says derailed. I say off to a blazing hot start.
All right, let's just get this started. Mike. I can't play your games anymore.
My fault. My fault. Okay, I see how it is. Oh, this is why we need Derpy back so he can be blamed for everything.
So the Pirates, the last game they played was 2 days ago. It was Game 3 of the Red Series, in which they were tied with the Reds, one game apiece. Mitch Keller comes in and throws a gem, and I mean a gem. Like he goes 7 innings, gives up 2 hits, no earned runs. He had given up two walks and 7 strikeouts. Holderman came in and Bednar also came in to help seal the deal. They both pitched 1 inning, gave up no hits, no earned runs, no walks. Holderman got a strikeout out of it. And we needed a little bit of offense, and that's what we got was a little bit of offense. Brian Hayes, it's a solo jack with 2 outs in the
Yeah,
8th inning, puts the Pirates up 1-0, and that ended up being the final score. Pirates 1-0. This win takes them to 500 at home. The Pittsburgh
that's what we
Pirates,
like to
when
hear.
playing at PNC Park, are 500 on the road. They are 2 games under. So this is a start because that's what you
Yeah,
want. You want to
yeah,
have a good home record, and then so on the road. That's where we are right now. going into 9 games left in this month of July. 3 starting this weekend today with Tampa Bay. The beginning of next week, we go to Cincinnati, who we just played, and then we wrap up July at Atlanta. If they could go 2, 4, 5, if they go 5-4, Mike, you happy with that? Because I'm thinking if you get 2 wins against Tampa, 2 wins against Cincy, and maybe pull one out in Atlanta, you're
Yeah.
sitting there with 5-4 at the end of that time. You okay with this team going 5-4 to finish out July?
You know what? I'll take it. I'll take it just because you know how inconsistent they have been throughout the year. 5-4. I'll take it. I'll take it. That's above 500 in those games. I'll be okay with it. Taking one game from Atlanta would be great. Even though we did what we won the series earlier, you can't expect us to go down in Atlanta and win another series. So if we can steal one from there, I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll be happy.
Pirates after this series with the Reds are 36-38, so they're ultimately 2 games under, which is what they are on the road. So basically, their road record is the difference right now. 36-38. The Reds walk out of that series 35-39. A couple accomplishments from this game were Mitch Keller throws his 600 strikeout in his career 600.
Here we go.
He's off to a good start. That's why he is the ace on this team. I got a little news about something, though.
Okay.
Brian Reynolds, he goes 1 for 3 in the game, has 1 run, 1 hit, 1 RBI. He was the home run. I'm sorry. What did I say? Brian Hayes hit the home run.
Yeah.
Brian Reynolds.
Brian Hayes had the game with the home run the game before.
Yeah. So Brian Reynolds was the only run the other day when he was 1 for 3, 1 run, 1 hit, 1 RBI, 1 home run. It was an eighth inning, 2 outs, nobody on base. And his 17-game hitting streak seems pretty impressive. However, the league went back and checked a hit that happened about 10 days ago. In the ball that was supposed to be caught, that was added as a hit, that was dropped, it had been changed to an error. So his hitting streak right now is 3 games.
Oh,
what a bummer.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
And why do you do that? You can't go back and change a call. You can't go back and change if the game's been done for more than 24 hours. I don't think that, especially if there's no, if it's not for a playoff spot, if it's not for anything of any importance, it really isn't. Why would they go back and do that, Mike?
Yeah, like that far back is crazy. Like 24 hours. Yeah. Yeah.
I think there should be a 24-hour window for this.
Yeah.
Otherwise, come on. What's it even matter? It's not relevant.
Because like you said, they're not going to add or take away runs. But they'll add or take away strikeouts, walks, hits, the only
errors, thing that's lost by this is his streak.
Yeah. That's ridiculous. And, you can say, hey, you know what? It should have been, but you know what? It's past the statute of limitations. So we're going to honor it and keep going. Yeah. It's
like I said, there's certain things during the course of a game that you can't change. Why would you guys? And it's again irrelevant. 2 teams under 500.
Yeah.
So that's that.
Now I understand. You change it during the game. That's why there's reviewable calls during the game.
If it's an issue, change it during the game. If it's a big thing, give 24 hours, and if it goes beyond that, statute of limitations. Yeah. And like the complaint we had at the end of that 19-inning Braves game 10 years, 12 years ago, whatever it was, like have 24 hours that we could have. Yeah, and at that point, that could change the course of a game. This has no bearing on any game, anywhere, anytime. So for them to go back and change one of Brian Reynolds' hits from a hit to an error to stop his streak and put him at 3 games instead of 17, I think is a bit bullshit, huh?
It is. It's cheap. It's tacky. They'll do this, but they won't go back to the perfect game that the umpire Angel Hernandez messed up. And so that guy no longer has a perfect game. Angel Hernandez fucked up. You can see on the video, he made the wrong call. That pitcher should have a perfect game, but they won't go back and change that. But they'll go ahead and take away, someone's, hitting streak. They won't, adjust the record for your favor. They'll go back and adjust it against you. It's stupid. It's idiotic.
Before we move on, I do want to finish up a couple of numbers from that last Reds game. Of course, the 1-0 Pirates win where Brian Reynolds hits the solo jack in the 8th inning. A couple other numbers from that game, Mike. Rowdy Tellez, they managed 3 hits in this game. 3 hits in the game that they win 1-0. The Pirates, Rowdy Tellez, Grandel, and Reynolds were the 3 hits. Tellez, Grandel, and Reynolds all went 1 for 3, and of course, the one that really mattered was the Reynolds hit. Buccos, they do start tonight, playing in a 3-game series over the weekend against the Tampa Bay Rays. The Rays coming in with a 34-39 record, which I knew they were right around us, but I didn't realize they were that. 34-39.
Yeah.
I look at teams like this as a team that we have a chance against.
We should win. We should win this game or win this series. Excuse me, or at least take 2 out of 3.
We were off yesterday, so this team today it's 6:40. They play game 1 of 3. And I got to tell you, if you want to make your way down to the stadium today, which is very hot, but you know what? People are going to go because they're looking good. And I'll tell you more here in a second why they may go. But Mike, this is a big promotion weekend for the Pirates. If you're into the City Connect jerseys, which a lot of people are, it's the yellow that kind of mimics the 70s jerseys, and it's these City Connect. Tonight they have a Brian Reynolds t-shirt where he's wearing his City Connect jersey, and it's a pretty nice shirt. Mm-hmm. They always have the free t-shirt Fridays. Tomorrow is Kutch bobblehead day when he's in his City Connect jersey is a bobblehead. And then finally Sunday, if you take your kids down to the stadium, kids get free David Bednar City Connect replica jerseys under 12 or 13 years old or whatever it is. So those are, I mean, if you like that jersey, these are pretty cool promotions.
Yeah, like go down and get them, sell it out, especially now that the owner is, saying, we should be looking into, being buyers. So show up to the stadium.
I'm going to comment on what Brian has to say, but I'm going to do it in a minute because that really upsets me. What they do on Sundays is ridiculous. And you know what? Other teams don't do that. I've looked around, and Mike, people start their actual starting lineup. And another thing that comes to my mind is, when was the last time this Pirates team put an identical lineup on the field 2 days in a row? I can't remember. And I watched this team. I think I've watched 98% of the games. I don't recall any day, 2 days in a row, that they put the same exact lineup out on the field.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
How are you going to build consistency? How are you going to build,
exactly. You can't. This is why, like, oh my God, Shelton needs to go, and he needs to go now. My God, half the time feels like the Buccos win in spite of him.
I know.
And I'm tired of seeing guys, start to get a nice little streak going at the plate, and then they get sat down for someone who hasn't hit in a month. It's frustrating.
So some of the good news, I gave you all the bad news. I got that all.
I want good news. I want good, positive news.
All right, here's some good news for you, Mike. If you're a Pirates fan, Joey Bart, Marco Gonzalez, and Ryan Barucci all are due to come back within the next week. I think that this helps. It's beneficial because you're able to throw Gonzalez in the back end of that rotation to shore up your rotation, and you got your 5. And you don't have to worry about these bullpen games.
Like today.
Also, then you have Barucci comes back to add to the bullpen. And then Joey Bart, I think, come on, we need another catcher. We need a healthy catcher.
Oh, God, yeah.
You know what? Joey Bart was playing the best out of all of them so far. So to see him back in the lineup, I'm gonna be excited about that. So these guys that all been on the injury list, it seems like forever now. 3 of them are coming back, Mike. And as I said, I think these are 3 pretty big pickups. And, you got Bart, you bringing his bat back into it with a catcher position that needs the depth right now.
Yes, they need a lot of help.
I mean, you can't have enough bullpen, and also the Gonzalez, like I said, rounding out your rotation. That's gonna be a nice feeling because I don't like not knowing who's gonna be pitching day to day.
Yeah,
I like to know my rotation, and that's what Marco Gonzalez is gonna bring to the table.
That's gonna be huge because how long can we keep skating by on the relief pitcher day?
You're right. They've been successful. I don't know how
they have, but I'm worried. Today is one of those days, and is it going to be the day that blows up? And is that going to be the start of something negative?
Is it going to be a bullpen day today, Mike?
I believe so. It's Cameron Moldinsky is what I'm seeing.
Oh, geez.
Malotsky or whatever his
Yeah,
name is.
Carter
Yeah.
Majinski.
Yeah.
I thought I read there was a possibility of Jared Jones, but if you're seeing what you're seeing, there's
That's
probably a
what I'm
chance.
seeing. It's on ESPN. I don't know if it's official. I've been checking Twitter, baseball accounts. I haven't seen anything other than Majinski starting.
They're pitching
And
Ryan
Jones
Pep.
is tomorrow.
They're pitching Ryan Pepiot, who comes in with a 5-5 record with a 4.57. Um, Tomorrow we're going to be facing Zach Eflin, who's 3-4 with a 4.12. That game's at 4:05 on Saturday. And then the afternoon game on Sunday, the matinee 1:35, we're going to be facing Aaron Savell, who's 2-5 with a 5.42 and 79 strikeouts on the season. Nothing too impressive, Mike, with these pitchers, at least with their numbers anyway. I'm not too worried about Tampa Bay. We're not down there. Last year they gave us our lunch. I mean, we went
Yeah.
down there. We couldn't see the ball because of the way their roof was, and they just were hot. And because you
They,
remember when we had the best record in the league at one time, they had a better record.
yeah. And I think
Remember?
that's like when the downfall started was that Tampa Bay series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes,
And
it was. It was the
yeah.
Tampa Bay series.
And their pitch today, he might be what 4-5, 4-4, but he's 3-1 away. So
Okay.
yeah, his best outings are at the opposing stadium, and that's not a good matchup when we have him and we're
But hey,
starting.
we're 5-0, or we're
Yeah.
500 at home, baby. Don't sell us short either. Also, let's see a couple
Well,
other
the
things.
Phillies are just one of the best. They're
Oh,
like
the
what
Phillies are nasty.
they're nasty. I think they probably like guys who could probably be starters on other teams in their bullpen. I don't know. I just don't like the idea of the bullpen day. I like my five. I'm traditional when it comes to that. I want my five guys.
You want to hear what you want to hear what we're talking about pitching? You want to hear what the Colin Holderman's doing, Mike?
I want to hear Colt. I want to hear what Holderman's doing.
25.2 innings pitched. In the last 25.2 innings pitched, he gave up 2 earned runs,
Ooh,
29 strikeouts.
nasty.
His ER is .70, and his opponent's batting average is .13, 143. Mike, 143 is what he's pit, is up against him. And also he has 8 consecutive outings without letting up a run.
I like it. This is
He
what we need in the bullpen.
Yes. So the
Great.
bullpen seems to be gelling as
Yeah.
summer goes along, as does Rowdy Tellez's production at the plate. We talked
Yes.
about on
Mm-hmm.
Wednesday. So it's going to be interesting to see how this continues. And like I said, now when you see Holderman coming in, you kind of have a little bit of confidence, and you're like, all right, this dude could blow through an inning, opposed to your David Bednars and a couple other guys that
Yeah.
it's going to be a heart attack every time they come out.
Oh God. Yeah. Like Bednar, his last 7 games. Ooh, 2.57 ERA, 7 strikeouts. But I want better numbers. I want give me last year's numbers. But Holderman's holding
He
it
hasn't
down,
been
and
bad lately,
and
but
Bednar, if he can work through this and get right, those two are back to back to being back to back innings eaters at the end. They're just shutting them out.
a couple more things that we're going to move on from baseball.
Zach Efron is hot. I can't wait to see him pitch.
The division
Brian.
looks like this as we speak. Milwaukee sits up top. St.
Yep.
Louis is 6.5 games out. Pirates are 7.5 games out in third place with a half a game out. They're half game out of the wild card spot. Chicago is 8 games out, and Cincinnati is in the basement at 8.5 games out. And this week, Mike, we do play the Tampa Bay Rays at home, and the rest of the division looks like this. Milwaukee is at San Diego. Milwaukee took an L down there last night, helped us out a little bit. Boston at Cincinnati. We like that. New York Mets at Chicago, which, you know what, the Mets aren't playing good this year, but they've been kind of hot lately. And then finally, the San Francisco Giants are at St. Louis. We could use a little bit of help from them, because if we could pass St. Louis, get back in that number 2 spot, we're going to be right around sitting in that third wild card spot. So maybe get a little help from our friends around the league. But that's how it breaks down. That's what it's going to be looking like this weekend. And one more thing about the Pirates before we do move on. Do not forget to go online. It's just a couple of pushes of the button. This isn't anything that you got to go out of your way for. And vote some of your favorite Pirates in for the All-Star game. They're going to get one no matter what, because that's the way it is. But you get in there and enough people votes for Paul Skeens, which I think they're going to. I think Paul Skeens will be an All-Star this year. I also do believe that Mitch Keller will be your All-Star. But vote your favorite Pittsburgh Pirates in, because you know what? It's up to you. So if
Yeah.
you don't, there may be somebody else that ain't worth being in there from another team that's going to make it. So make our guys that ain't worth to be the guys that get in. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hopefully, it is one of those two because right now they're both well deserved. I think Skeens would be better for publicity for the Pirates, better PR, just because how dominant he's been in such a short amount of time. But I wouldn't mind Killer making it. He more than deserves it.
I don't think there's any way to go move on without talking about our Pittsburgh Steelers next. Let's talk some Steelers.
Let's do this.
Mike, we cut Denzel Mims
Mm-hmm.
and who was the other guy? The
Trenton Thompson.
Trenton Thompson.
That one was the surprise. That
well,
one
the
was the
speculation
surprise.
is this. There's been a lot of early talk and gossip about chances of getting a wide receiver and that safety from down in Denver. What's his name? I can't think of
Simmons.
that's the guy that we were.
Justin Simmons.
So they said a lot of people are saying, does Omar Khan have something up his sleeve now that he dropped a receiver and a safety because we had such interest in Simmons and Ayuk? Maybe if he's consistently as good of a GM as he's been from day one, maybe, just maybe, we might be bringing some, maybe bringing in a little help, Mike, with freeing up those two particular positions.
I would like it. But I saw like right before we went on, we signed another wide receiver that you'd never heard of.
Oh,
yeah.
Why?
Yeah, it's just another one
Unless
of those
they're going to
bodies.
bundle up like 15 receivers and move
We're
them.
gonna we're gonna give San Fran all of our bad players for their good player. That's what
he
we're
don't
gonna
want to
do.
be there. That's the only thing that keeps me hanging on.
Yeah,
is he doesn't want to be in San Francisco. And
yeah.
you know what? They don't seem too eager to pay him the money.
Yeah, but they also know they hold all the cards.
They do hold all the cards, absolutely.
Yeah. So they're in no rush to trade him.
Right.
So that I would love it if that happened. Don't get me wrong. If we get Ayuk and Simmons, put me down for over the moon. But I don't think it's gonna happen. But like, yeah, that Tristan Thompson one, that's a head scratcher because I thought the handful of games
he was productive.
I thought he was productive. So
he had an interception last year.
I don't know what's going on there. He's like that kind of guy that they like. He was younger-ish, productive, been in the system, knows it. So I don't know what's going on there. I don't know if he did something or they do have something in the works and they're going to go ahead and make that roster spot available now. Because I saw the two cuts and the one sign, so there's still a spot open. So maybe he is working his magic on another safety.
Thompson had played in 6 games last year and he had an interception. Mike, here's a question for you. The two teams that I see that have this is the two teams that keep popping up that have the best chance of pulling Brandon Ayuk. I may or may not have brought it up the other day. I don't know. I don't know.
So. I don't think we talked about it.
It's so hot.
Yeah.
But anyway, Brandon Ayuk, the two teams that are speculated mostly to grab Brandon Ayuk are the Steelers and the Washington Commanders.
Yeah, those are the two that I keep seeing coming up as well.
If he goes to Washington, what a waste.
That'd be huge waste. Would add to that receiving core, but if I'm saying Fran, I want one of their receivers back. I want Jahan Dotson or Terry McLaurin. That's who I would want. I would want one of those two coming back in the trade. So the whole point for them to get Ayuk would have those three receivers, and you're surrounding Jaden Daniels with experienced pros, and I just don't.
They're just a team.
I just don't see
Mike,
it.
they do this every year. They've done this every year in my life.
I know.
Listen, I've been watching football for about 4 decades. And early on, the Redskins had some success. They won some Super Bowls, but since the early 90s, since they won that last Super Bowl against the Bills, which was the Bills' second loss in a row, that Washington team has done nothing. I've seen many good players go to that team over the years, decades worth of players. The team just stinks. They can never bring it together. Again, you kind of throw them into categories, one of these Cleveland Browns, Pittsburgh Pirates type situations. They're just never good. They aren't.
And they do have the cap space for it because that you're going to trade from, you're going to want to sign them. They have $36 million available this year in the cap. So if they, and then next year, I think they're going to have, yeah, next year they got a lot of cap space, like 87 million. So that would be, it makes sense for them to make that trade and sign for him. But what you would have to give up, you have to give up a first round pick this year or up in the next draft. And this team's going to be picking high again. You have to give up one of your receivers. So
Listen, I'd give him our first
mm,
round pick and then all of our extra receivers.
me too. I would, as a Steeler, I would do that. I was still like getting in the Commander's mindset. I think that would be a bad move because you're gonna have to give up a receiver and first you're picking high. Us, I don't mind giving up a first round pick because historically, my God, we've been picking later in the draft,
Right.
so I'm okay
When
with
you're getting a
that.
player of that caliber, you know
Yeah,
what? That's as good as getting a first round draft pick, in my opinion, Mike.
yeah, and Omar Khan started out as the cap guru, so I have all the confidence he would be able to figure out a way to sign him. And eventually, though, too, you remember you got to sign if George Pickens pans out the way we do, he's going to want close to what Ayuk and them are making as well. So you have to figure it out. But Omar Khan is one of the few GMs I would have faith to figure it out.
Marlon Humphrey from the Baltimore Ravens says, referring to Patrick Queen coming to Pittsburgh, he
Yeah.
makes the comment, well, the grass isn't always greener. Well, Patrick Queen comes back and says, the grass is greener. Can you imagine?
And watering the grass. I
And
saw
water,
that.
yes.
That was great.
I love it. I love Patrick Queen. I think this is gonna be classic. He's
Uh
already
huh.
starting some shit, and you know
Yeah.
what? I'm super excited about the Ravens Steelers games this year, even though they've always been good games. Even though the
Yeah.
both games
This
last year
adds
were
another
17-10,
element to it
it adds another element to it, and it's just going to make the game
because
better. I love this Patrick Queen move.
mhm.
I would have a million years wouldn't have thought that they would have brought Patrick Queen here, Mike. I
Yeah.
just wouldn't have thought they would have brought him, paid him, had him here. But here we are. We got a damn good linebacker.
Yeah, I like the move. I like that, that added dynamic to it. Like I'm trying to think Rod Woodson was the only other player that I can think of that was a Steeler then played for the Ravens, but when he went to the Ravens,
Wardell
it
Stewart
wasn't
did too.
yeah, but it wasn't at the peak of the rivalry. Like, that rivalry really didn't kick off until like when we were going to the Super Bowls. So to me, this is like the biggest defection from the two franchises. And it adds layers to it. I do like he was it Kyle Hamilton. He responded back to Patrick Queen. He's like, you got the boys rolling over here with your comeback. So some of them are laughing about it, but I think people like Marlon Humphreys, who's been around, I think some of the older vets are going to be salty and have a little something extra for the game. And I think our vets are going to have a little something extra for that game too to back up Patrick Queen. So I can't wait for the first game, and it sucks that it's in the latter half of the season.
Every
I want
good
it. I
game
want
is
it
in the
game.
latter half of the
I want
season.
it game 4. This one, both teams get the offenses and defenses. Kinks worked out in the first 3 and have that game 4, game 5. That's when these guys should be playing.
Mike,
That
would you be
first game.
interested in hearing? Speaking of the Ravens, speaking of the Steelers,
Yes,
speaking of
yes,
hardcore, hard nosed football, you want to hear the numbers on the broken tackles by your running backs last season?
yes, yes.
The very worst team in the league, the Cincinnati Bengals running backs broke 12 tackles all season. Remember, they played 17 games, guys.
Now that's not good. I'm no math major, but that's not good.
The 31st best team in the league with 13 broken tackles by their running backs last year, Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota Vikings. Next team on the list, we're obviously going backwards from bottom to top. The New York Giants, their running backs only broke 18 tackles last year. There's a tie at the next position. It's the Broncos and the Patriots. Those two teams, they combined for 19 broken tackles by their running backs. The next one is another tie between Tampa Bay and the Saints. 21. Their running backs broke 21 tackles all season. Then there's a four-way tie. The Raiders, the Colts, the Chargers, and the Chiefs, their running backs through the course of the season last year broke 23 tackles, 23 broken tackles. Think what a broken
Yeah,
tackle is. Think of
yeah,
Najee, what they do with, okay.
yeah. I thought the Chiefs would be higher. The way Pachenko runs, he's just like punching people off of him.
He's probably all 23 of
He
those.
probably is.
Number 20, the next one with 24 broken tackles by their running backs was the Buffalo Bills. The next one up on the list is 3 teams: the Texans, the Jets, and the Titans, who had Derrick Henry, mind you,
Yeah,
had
that's
broken
surprising.
28 tackles.
I think
I
all
mean,
28 were probably all him.
I mean, these numbers aren't. I mean, you're not at the 12 right now like the Bengals were. So I mean, it's
Yeah.
getting better.
Yeah.
Next team on the list had 29 tackles by their running backs was Green Bay. The following team, no surprise, with 30, Christian McCaffrey and the 49ers.
Yeah.
After that is the Cowboys and the Bears. The Cowboys and the Bears both tied with 32 broken tackles throughout the season from their RBs. Next team with 33, there's two of them, the Eagles and the Seahawks. After that, we have another three-way tie with 34 broken tackles by the running backs on their teams. The Falcons, the Commanders, and the Panthers. Then the Dolphins with 38, the Cardinals with 39. 40 broken tackles by their running backs last year were the Lions and the Rams. We're down to the top four. Top four teams now, Mike. There's only four teams left. Number 4, with 41 broken tackles by their running backs. Would have been more had not Minka effed up Chubbs' leg. 41 goes to the
yeah.
Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, you think Chubbs would have broken a whole hell of a lot more if he was
Number
healthy.
3, the third best team with broken tackles by their running backs with 45 is the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Wow, that's damn. Because I know they have Travis Etienne, but he doesn't strike me as a bruiser, so I don't know who else they have unless him being so shifty.
Two teams left, Mike. The top two.
Yep.
One has 46 broken tackles by their running backs, and one has 59 for the top spot. Number 2 with 46 tackles by their running backs last season, the Baltimore Ravens. 46, number 2.
Damn.
And the number 1 team in the NFL last year with broken tackles by running backs through the course of 17 games played with 59. Your Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, baby. 59 in honor of the greatest outside linebacker of all time, Jack Ham.
59.
Najee and Jalen Warren were getting it done last year, breaking tackles.
They have 2 bruisers. Nobody else. I mean, look at these other teams where you do have a Derrick Henry, or you do have Saquon Barkley, or you do have some. These guys are interchangeable. You can take one in and you get the same results as the other guy. I think that Jalen Samuel is a little bit more.
Jalen Warren.
He's a little Jalen Warren. I'm sorry. Jalen Warren's a little more sharp. But you know what? There's something about Najee. I don't think you could count him out, man. He's done very well to this point in his career in the NFL. I mean, you'd like to see him be more productive in some areas, but at the end of the day, what him and Jalen are doing are very special. And moving forward, and especially this season, I'm very excited to see the way that these guys rumble, stumble, and bumble.
Oh yeah,
down the field.
Yeah, they're just. I just want more consistency from Najee. Where'd I go? But anyway, I just want more consistency out of Najee with his running. And we saw at the end of last year, like that second half of the year, man, he was picking it up. He was beasting everyone every game. If he can do that from game 1 all the way through, this offense is going to be something to watch, and he's going to tear it up.
I'm not like a lot of people. I'm not too disappointed in what Najee done. He's done better than anybody else that's ever played here in that period of time. So I don't have those complaints. But as I said, he's not quite as sharp as Jalen is, and you know. But the two of them in the backfield, come on, you couldn't ask for a better backfield.
That's to me, it's the best duo in the league. Because Jalen Warren's not only going to run you over, he can add that little burst of speed too. He's faster and quicker than Najee.
Yes.
And I want to see how Najee runs, how much quicker Najee is this year, shedding that weight, slimming down a little bit. And I wonder if it's going to be like kind of how we saw, I hate bringing it up, but, Lev Bell, that rookie year to his second year, he dropped a bunch of weight, got skinnier, quicker. And I'm not saying Najee is going to be that type of runner, that patient runner, but I think he's going to be quicker to the hole this year. And that's what's held him back from having those 1,300 yard seasons, is not hitting the hole quick enough.
Mike, I know you like football. I know you like lists. And I'm ready to move on to the next thing, but I have one more list.
I'm down.
You want to hear the price of 16-ounce beers at every NFL stadium?
Oh God, yeah, I saw this list.
I'm going to start at the very bottom. The cheapest 16-ounce beer where you could get them would be the Detroit Stadium at Ford Ford Field, and
I'm
then
gonna go up there now.
and also Atlanta. Like you get 16-ounce beers at those two stadiums for $6.25. That is the cheapest in the league.
You know what? For going out to a venue like that, that is dirt cheap. Sign me
That's
up,
because you got to
boys.
be shit faced to go watch the Falcons play. Come on, let's be
Oh
real.
yeah. Hey, now they got Kirk Cousins there. Look out, baby.
Mm.
You're like the world
Next
on
team from the
fire.
bottom, like $6.59. Not too much of a difference there.
Yeah.
The Cincinnati Bengals. If you would put up with going and dealing with the stench and
Yeah.
the filth that is Cincinnati,
Yeah. It's
you
not a
could
bad
get yourself a
price.
cheaper beer. So
Yeah.
number three, 750. We're going from the top bottom to the top, just like we just did on the other list. 750 for a 16-ounce beer in Mile High in Denver. 750. So that's still pretty reasonable.
That's
I mean,
still a pretty good price.
the next one we have a three-way tie between the Texans, Vikings, and Colts. $8. $8 is a 16-ounce beer in any of those three stadiums. Next, Baltimore, Cleveland, and Arizona. Three places I hope I never find myself ever in my life.
Right.
$8.13 for a 16-ounce beer in Baltimore, Cleveland, and Arizona. Next on the list, Mike, for $8.40 for a 16-ounce beer, the Patriots up at Gillette Stadium. Another place I would never want to go.
Me either.
850 Kansas City. 863 Tampa Bay. Stick around because it gets interesting. 880 Chicago or Buffalo. The next on the list, two were roughly 27 cents cheaper than the average. To be honest
Okay.
with you, if you think
Yeah.
we're overspending when we go to Acrisure Stadium, $9.29 is what you pay for a 16-ounce beer when you go down to Acrisure, and that is 39 cents, 36 cents
Yeah.
cheaper than the average price in the NFL.
Right now, these prices aren't bad for the
Not bad,
pounders.
right?
Not bad
Okay,
for a pounder.
right.
I'll take it.
Next on the list with 950, the beer there for a 16-ounce beer, 950. Green Bay and Dallas. Green Bay and Dallas.
I thought Green Bay would be a little bit cheaper just because like Wisconsin's like the drunkest place in the
Right.
world. Yeah.
The average is 956. That is the the league average in the NFL, $9.56 for a 16-ounce beer. So now
I,
we're yeah.
I was going to say I want to salute the bottom teams for keeping that average down. You're putting in the real work, Atlanta and
Well,
Detroit.
let's get into the teams that are in double digits for a double a 16-ounce beer. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
The next tier is the Titans, the Seahawks, and the Panthers. If you want to go there and get a pound of beer, it is $10.50 for that beer. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I'd still pay.
Still do it, of course. The next tier, Miami Dolphins, New York Giants, New York Jets, and Washington Commanders, $11 even. $11 for a beer.
Okay. We haven't hit my limit of pricing me out yet. $11
Okay.
ain't bad.
Okay. Mike, now we're down to the four last tiers. There's obviously more teams than that, but these are the four tiers that are left. $11 even was the last one. Here we go. San Francisco, New Orleans, and Jacksonville. You could get yourself 16-ounce beer for $11.50.
Okay. We're still good.
Still there.
Still holding at 11.50.
The next team is it's the Raiders. If you go to Las Vegas to see the Raiders, it's $12 for a 16-ounce beer.
No, that's Las Vegas. That's too high of a price. I can go play the slots and they'll give me one for free and I tip them.
So two tiers left, three teams all together. Here we go, Mike. The Chargers in Los Angeles and the Rams in Los Angeles. Of course, they have the same price, play at the same place. They played the same place. Rams and Chargers. That's a good
I don't
question.
think so. No.
I would think that they would just based on this beer price, but
one's at what SoFi, the other's at Reliant.
Okay, works for me. The price for the beer, if you go to see a team in LA, is $13.75. That's the second tier.
You know what? I wonder if that's not a bad price for LA.
Might be. Now, this one here is the mind-blowing one. The very top tier, the most expensive beer in the NFL, in the city. You need this beer, believe me. So you're kind of being listen to this. The Philadelphia Phillies or Eagles, I'm sorry. The Philadelphia Eagles.
Wow.
$14.67 for a beer. $15 bucks.
You know what? that's smart by the Eagles. Raise that price up because those fans are coming in more liquored up than Yinzers going into the stadium, and even though the jail cell ain't there
That's the way to keep
anymore, they
crime.
still had it. They're gonna drink themselves stupid in the parking lot anyway, and you price it high enough, they're not going to drink a lot in there.
That's the
So
way to keep the crime down in
you keep the
Philadelphia.
crime down. That's thinking. That's a 3,000 IQ play right there. So I don't have a problem with that price. Like some of these prices, out in LA paying like what, $12, almost $13 for beer. I have no problem with that. I think that'd be
And luckily
for
for me, I'm never going to be in
prices of
LA more than
yeah
likely, so I'm cool with it.
yeah like some of these prices aren't bad. You figure what's what a beer and a half, or just over no beer and a quarter. Yeah, a beer and a
Don't get me
quarter
wrong,
for 13 bucks.
I'd like to go to LA to watch football. But anyway,
Yeah, I think it'd
because
be
you see so
fun.
many Steeler fans, you
Oh
see like
yeah,
the Chargers and
that would be
even the
yeah,
Rams, they have a lot of Steeler fans. So you know what? I guess never say never, right?
yeah, and it would be cool. I want to go hang out with Steeler fans from like live in different cities, grew up in different cities,
Like you don't
and
even
see
like
how
hanging
they
out with
are.
Steeler fans that live in our city.
Well, it's because I know them. They're like me. I don't
Oh,
want to
that's
hang
right.
out with me to begin with. Why would I want to hang out with a bunch of drunkards that are just like me? No, I want to go hang out with a bunch of drunkards that aren't like me.
All right, so we got some controversial. At least the player. The player's controversial. I'm like, we got to move on. We're into the Caitlin Clark segment of the show. My opinion about the WNBA is this. Listen, if they mismanage Caitlin Clark like they've mismanaged everything to this point, from
Yeah.
1996 to now, you got to know that they've mismanaged everything. They stink. They don't make any money.
Mm-hmm.
The NBA is basically carrying them for just so they could have something. If they mismanage this, then I think that they'll get what they deserve. I
Yeah.
think once the views go down, it'll be what they deserve. If they mismanage this golden goose who lays golden eggs, they will get exactly what they deserve, and that league will continue to fail. It's done nothing but failed ever since it's been around. Handle this golden goose with care, because if you screw this up, you're done. The NBA,
Yeah.
this might be the WNBA's last chance, Mike. I mean, come
I,
on.
it, yeah, exactly. Like you think about like a lot of God, some of like the good women players that we saw when we were growing up. That they were probably our age. Cheryl Swoop, Lisa Leslie, Lobo. Like they were good basketball players, and they still couldn't. People weren't
Yep.
going to watch them.
Because at the end of
Now
the
you
day, you're going to
now
spend money to go watch people do what you can't do.
and you can't hit. How many people are hitting that deep three? Her, Steph Curry.
I
So
could certainly go and
those
brick layups
outliers.
all day. I could
Yeah,
certainly brick layups all day, but you know what? As far as these things that she does, it's pretty exceptional. And you know what? There's still going to be people that say, you know what, this chick isn't that good. Let me break into some numbers here, guys. Versus the rookies, she is first with points per game against all the rookies in the league. She has 15.6 points per game. Okay, assists per game against rookies, Mike. She is also first with 6.6 assists per game. 3-point shooting against other rookies, Mike. Their numbers against hers, first in the league and first in the rookies with 2.6 threes per game. And finally, rebounds per game. She's not a big man by any means,
no.
but she is fourth amongst rookies with 4.9
Huh.
rebounds per game. Does the woman have some issues with turnovers?
Yeah,
Absolutely. But you know what? There's a lot more upside than there is downside.
yeah,
Let me tell you some more things about her. Let me tell you a little bit more. I think you mentioned it the other day, Mike. She, of course, is the fastest player in the WNBA history to get to 200 points, 75 rebounds, and 75 assists in history, mind you.
in
Okay.
history.
In history. And also, Mike, I also do want to say her team that she plays for, who's a pretty bad team, the Indiana Fever, they now have won 3 in a row. They've won 5 of their last 7. And in their last game, when they won on Wednesday night, Tuesday, whatever it was, Clark scored 18 points. She had 12 rebounds, Mike, 12 rebounds, which was
Yeah,
the game high, and 6 assists. In a 88-81 win over the Mystics, Fever now sit at 6-10. Mystics fell to 2-13. Boston had a pretty good game that night as well. She scored 22 points, 7 rebounds. The Indiana Fever play tonight against the Atlanta Dream. at 7:30. I'm anxious to see what Caitlin Clark does tonight, Mike. Again, say what you want. Am I saying she's the best all-around basketball player in the league? I'm
No,
not. I
no,
never said that. Those words
no.
never came out of my mouth. But for what she's doing, come on, you can't take it away from her. Don't screw this up, WNBA. I generally like the WNBA. I don't want them to fail. Don't screw this up because if you do, you don't know when the next time one of these kind of players is going to come
Exactly.
around. She's generational.
Yep.
You got to handle this
Yeah.
correctly.
You
Got
know,
to.
look what hockey did with Wayne Gretzky. Look what basketball did with Jordan. You push them, 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 and until they break through
Yep.
to a wider audience, and that's what you have to do. And tonight, down in Atlanta, they're let's see, they've opened up standing room only tickets, 17,000 fans expected.
Jeez, oh man.
Yeah, that's selling out like NHL, NBA style arenas. No one else
So
in the WNBA is doing that. So
I wanted to touch on her, Mike, because again, if you don't talk about her every day, I think it's gonna be a shame if people forget her, people stop pushing her, people start
mhm,
promoting her, and people stop talking about her. So
yeah,
I at least want to talk about her
yeah,
accomplishments
yeah,
and squeeze them in every day because again, if you go through these numbers,
yeah.
come on, she's
And,
doing
and
things
if
that
the
nobody's ever done
yeah,
in the league.
and if the league was really smart, like when you're promoting her, oh, she's going up against Atlanta. Talk about Atlanta's best player.
Yeah.
Too. Talk them up too. So look, you got she's bringing eyes to the product, and you can take that to put those eyes on every team around the league. Use her as that lens, that vehicle to promote other talent around the league, and then you never know. You can that's going to help you grow right there. But like I always say, the WNBA and the NHL will do whatever they can to keep themselves a niche sport, shoot themselves in the foot, whether
All right.
intentionally or
We
unintentionally.
got about 8 minutes, Mike. So I'm going to move forward here. The Penguins, they re-signed their backup goalie,
Yeah.
Alex. Say his name for me, Alex.
No, Ned. We got
Ned.
Ned back, baby. We got
Ned
Ned
is coming
back.
back for 2 years. The
I like it.
Penguins did sign him to a 2-year deal. Also in the NHL, game 6 tonight at 8 o'clock in the Stanley Cup Finals. The Panthers at the Oilers. Florida is leading that series
Yeah.
3-2. So the NHL Stanley Cup could be won tonight in theory.
Could
Also,
be.
Mike, the Pittsburgh Passion are off this week. They got this week off, and then they play their playoff games next week. That's when they start. The Riverhounds, they lost 1-0 on Wednesday night to Louisville City FC, but they no need to worry. They back in action tomorrow. Get down to Highmark Stadium to see the Pittsburgh Riverhounds take on North Carolina FC. That game starts at 7:30.
Real
Mike,
quick
so
about the
yeah,
the
please.
Stanley Cup playoffs. If Edmonton pulls this off, this is going to be the greatest comeback in NHL history. Down 3 games to none in the Stanley Cup playoffs. This if it happens, it's going to catapult McDavid up the charts of best players of all time. He's already up there. Let's put him
He's a
on
freak.
borderline. It's going to put him in right now. God, if they pull it off, easily top 10. I still don't think he breaks into the top 5, but he can be knocking on that door with the conversation. Him and Ovi. And if
I
Ovi
want to,
breaks that scoring record, so interesting times in the NHL right now.
Mike, can you break into the category of the website?
The 2dumyinzers.com. Over there, we got links to all of Ryan and I's social media. If you're new here, go over there. Encourage you to go over there and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, the Twitter, all that fun stuff. Over there too. We also got the blog and we got the merchandise store all at the 2dumyinzers.com.
All right, guys, here is the question of the day. Mike, put your thinking cap on. Guys on the board, feel free. This is a WNBA question, a WNBA trivia to round out the week. Here we go. Question of the day is this. There are 2 active WNBA players that can currently dunk the basketball. Two of them. Can you name either one? There are 2 WNBA players that can currently dunk. Can you name either one? Think that over. We are live. We're live 5 days a week right here, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every day. And then we take the brand new live episodes every day and we upload them in podcast form over on Spotify, If you would just rather listen to the game, maybe you didn't get a chance to catch it on YouTube, or you want to put it in the car, in your earbuds, whatever you want to do. It goes up brand new every day. Spotify, check it out. All right. Question of the day is this: there are two current basketball players in the WNBA who can dunk a basketball. Can you name either one? Mike, do you want to give it a shot? It's
I'm
it's
get
it's a hard one, but it's, you know what? You could get this right. I you can. I know you can.
um let me go with Aja Wilson.
Aja Wilson, is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
All right,
She's a beast. She
I'll
might be
give
the
the
best player in the WNBA.
I'll give the guys a moment on the board. I just read this morning that there's this kid that plays at that IMG high school up here. That's I think they won the single A championship.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, he's 7'9". He's going to Miami.
I saw that kid. Yeah, it's
Seven
nuts.
nine. Remember, Manute Bull was 7'7", and he was like,
Yeah,
geez, 7'9". And they're saying
that's
that he's not done growing.
no, no, it's insane. They were showing like at age 12 he was this high, and now he's this tall, and it was like a huge growth spurt. Insane.
Unbelievable. Um, all right, here we go. Question of the day. There are two WNBA players that can currently dunk a basketball. Can you name one? Mike, you said who?
Aja Wilson.
Aja Wilson.
Yeah.
The two players are Jonquel Jones, which I wouldn't have guessed in a million years. But the other player, Mike, is Brittany Griner.
God dang it. I was gonna say her, but then you said it was a tough one.
Well, that's because she's a
It wouldn't
boy.
surprise.
That doesn't surprise me.
No,
But
no, your ex-girlfriend is the one who can dunk.
well, I didn't know she bird chest. Oh, geez. But anyway, listen. Did you see the pictures yet of her with no shirt on?
No, no, I have not, because I don't want
No,
that my in
listen.
my Google history search. Okay. Like even with incognito mode, I don't want that on there. No
Listen,
offense to Brittany
Jonquel
Griner.
Jones and Brittany Griner are the only two women right now in the WNBA that can dunk a basketball, which I think is pretty cool. But there you have it. Question of the day.
You tricked me. You threw a curveball in there by that comment that you made, because Brittany Griner is going to be the one. I'm like, I'm going off board.
How did I throw you off?
You're like, it's a tough one. It's not who you think it would be. It's
Well,
going to be a tough one to figure out. Well, Brittany Griner was my number one.
oh, was she?
Yeah, she's like 8 feet
The
tall.
number one on your list and number one in my heart, Brittany Griner. A couple of things I do want to say, Mike, here before we go. You go first. Anything you want to say before we get ready to wrap it up?
Yeah, yeah. So apparently, all the stats in the NBA from the 80s and 90s were like the points in whose lives anyway. They were made up and don't matter.
Why is that?
Uh, People are going back through like just watching old games and stat lines. And the year Jordan won the Defensive Player of the Year, one team had 3 turnovers in a game. He had 5 steals. That math ain't mathin'. So yeah, people are going back through and
See, you
like
can't go back. That's just like the Pirates.
No, they were just like looking at these numbers, because some of the like and like John Stockton's assist home road were way higher than above expectations. It's nuts how these sports leagues can manipulate numbers.
I want to
Just like
say this
Ryan,
in the
how you were
nicest.
saying with this.
I want to say this in the nicest possible way. I don't give two fucks about the NBA. You know what I mean? Like that
Yeah.
really. I mean, it's
But
big
you wonder
news.
but you
for
wonder too, like
sports.
in baseball, like if it wasn't Brian Reynolds, let's say if it was someone from the Yankees, would they have gone back and looked at that?
I just think that basketball, the NBA has become so unwatchable, Mike. I just, who cares? But anyway, it is for sports, and you know what? For that
Yeah.
value, I do take
Yeah,
value in it.
it's just it was just crazy. Like this whole article, like the guy said, when I want to be a scorer, they told you if it's a guy on your home team, lean towards giving them the steal, the block, or the assist, even though if it might not be.
You know what? 20 years from now, you're going to go back
Yeah.
to every sport and be able to do this.
Oh yeah, you're gonna see
I
where.
hate
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I hate it. Mike, my couple of things are this. Brian, of course, during the show, he brought up the Indianapolis Indians game where they lost 1-0 yesterday. Yes, the Pirates, when they are not on, the Indianapolis Indians are being played on Pittsburgh Sports Channel. That's pretty cool. The guys, you get to see a lot of people you hear about. and guys that you see and are familiar with going up and down from the Pirates. So keep your eye out for that. I've noticed they started doing that just about a month ago. So if you're interested at all, and also Ron mentioned on the board with the Blue Wahoos down there in a double A. So if you are interested in minor league baseball, it's certainly being played here in Pittsburgh a lot more with our Indianapolis Indians. And anytime anybody goes down, that's where they go. So you could always keep up with them there. The other half of my information is this. It's unfortunate. It's not my favorite information, but Mike, your Ohio beat Penn in the game last night in the Big Penn, Ohio matchup, the battle on the border in Geneva College right here in Beaver Falls. The Ohio football team wins 27-10. They're starting there. They're going to try to start a streak now and see how they could do. But
Yep.
we will see next year once it goes back to Ohio how that plays out. 27-10, the final count on that. I do want to say thank you to everybody for coming and hanging out with us and checking us out today. We greatly, greatly appreciate each and every one of you. We certainly wouldn't do it without you, believe me. And everybody on the board, I want to say thank you. You always keep
Yes.
things interesting here on the show. Beyond words, how grateful we really are.
Yes.
Mike, anything else? Any last words
I
before
got
we take
nothing.
off for the weekend?
Just enjoy the weekend, everyone. Stay safe and stay cool.
Guys, you got Stanley Cup tonight. You got Caitlin Clark and the Fever. They're back at it tonight. The Hounds over the weekend, Saturday down at Highmark. Get down, check them out. Also, what else do we got, Mike? We got women don't play this week in football. They have a week,
No.
they have a bye.
Yeah.
Next week, they'll be back at it in the playoffs. Pirates tonight, big game against Tampa Bay, game 1 of 3. I think Jared Jones is on the hill tomorrow.
Yep.
But anything else? Anything I'm forgetting?
No, we got it all, but let's go Bucks, baby. Get that
All right.
Bucko fever going.
So from Mike from the Steeler Central Mobile Studio, myself, the two Dum Yinzers, everybody have a great, safe weekend. Try to keep cool, and we'll see you first thing on Monday. Bye bye.